Okay, we're back. I have a new fresh tea. I'm ready to talk. So, we just left it off on the other segment as all these wonderful teachers teach us stuff. Where do we get the willpower? Where do we get the willpower to do and to execute all these things that we're supposed to do? Well, there are different philosophies. For me, it was more clear when I was in university and I took these philosophy courses and martial art courses and learned from the masters, and I studied into it. And of course, any students, as they learn things eventually, when they become really involved in it, at a certain point in their time, in their life, they build on it and expand it and enhance it, at least a portion of it, if not in all angles of it, maybe in certain part of it, and which would serves them, and they find the need for it for their own life, or in their own capacity, or in their own view of what and how this negotiation of navigation through life should be. And I have done the same, similar things, additions in what I've learned, as every one of us should do. And for me, what I've learned taught me that it's all about understanding our relationship with what our life, physical and mental existence, is made out of. And I feel, of course, as everyone possibly knows, that is energy. And the energy is the abundance of it, and is responsible for everything to develop and grow and to come into existence and to use to go further and develop and do things. Energy is everything. And the abundance of energy is in the universe, it's in nature. And having realized that, everyone who has realized that, which thousands of years ago, there were scholars and masters who realized that, and they tried to teach others. And this energy being abundance in the universe and in nature, and we are part of that nature, part of that universe, and therefore we are part of the energy. And it is impossible to think that there is no interaction between the very same energy that has made everything. So there must be an interaction, and there is an interaction, because the energy is being replenished as it is used up. And where does it get its replenishment? Where does it get replenished from? Of course it gets replenished from the universe. So there must be a relationship and direction and the connection between that energy of the universe and the energy of the things, other things, like our energy is being replenished from universal energy, because they're both made out of the same thing, and we are part of the universe, part of the nature. So, and everything's made out of energy, so there is a connection and interaction between what has made us, the energy, and what the universal energy flow is all about. It must be a conflux, interchange. So I think we must learn simply to focus on the relationship between the energy of the universe and our energy. Interesting thought. And perhaps we should then examine the relationship between our mind and our body, because our existence is in two parts: physical and mental. Mind, energy. Physical and mind, energy. And we always put our hands here, as we think this is the head, so that's what mind is. And we'll explain about that to see if it's correct or not. So let's discuss the relationship between our energy and the energy of the universe and see if we can understand it or help us understand. Well, the way I've learned and thought about it is that let's say you go in front of the ocean and scoop up a bit of the ocean water. And you look at it and you say, my water. Well, in your eyes, it's true. It's your water. But in the eyes of the great ocean, it's part of the great ocean's water in your hand. The same thing with us. We have encased some life energy in our bodies, and we say, my life. And it's true from our own eyes, my life. But in the eyes of the great nature, great universe, is part of the life of the universe, part of the energy of the universe, in your body. You see the connection? Now, if we keep this water that we scooped up out of the ocean and we're looking at it in our hands, if we keep it up outside the ocean for long, what's going to happen? It eventually gets old, possibly spoiled, and start stinking. Probably it's so spoiled. And so if we wanted to stay fresh and happy in a way, we got to leave it and put it back into the ocean water. So let it have conflux with the rest of the water of the great ocean. Yeah? Same thing with us. If we don't understand how we can encourage and facilitate the conflux between our energy and the energy of the nature, energy of the universe that we have encased some of it in our body, we call our life. If we don't know how to encourage the conflux and interchange between this energy and the energy of the universe, then we end up having a cooped up energy and susceptible to possibly sickness, diseases, because it doesn't have the exchange, conflux, yeah? So we got to learn how to do that, because that will give us fresh energy all the time. Yeah? Because we know that the energy is not sitting, energy is moving. Yeah? From one corner of the universe, I believe that it moves to the other end of the universe and continuously is moving from one end to the other and 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 from all ends to all ends and all beginnings. So it's constantly moving. So that conflux, we should know how that conflux would include us. Our energy would also should be able to have this exchange, interchange, conflux. So we could always have fresh abundance of energy. Make sense? I think so. So now, and you say, oh, why don't you explain a little bit more about this energy? Why do you think we have an energy? Well, it's not too difficult to realize. This is how I've been taught. And this is how I could explain it, according to what I've learned. Well, see, when you get up in the morning, you're usually vigorous and full of charge. But even if you don't do a thing, and sit on the couch and watch TV all day long, in the afternoon, at the end of the day, you kind of feel drained. You kind of feel like exhausted. Because all through this time, something has been facilitating your sitting down and watching TV. Even though not much of an action, not much of an activity by you, but for that very thing that you're doing, as subtle as it may be, you needed a certain kind of power. And that's why in the morning, as energetic as you may be, if you just sit on the couch and watch TV in the afternoon or at night, you feel not as energetic anymore. So why? Because something has been used up all through this time for whatever it is that you're doing, or just to keep you alive. You're consuming something, you're exchanging with the energy, taking the energy and using it to, to flow. So that kind of tells you you're using something. That's something that you're using is energy. And when you sleep again, and then you get up again, you're filled up, like a battery has been charged. And when the battery cannot be charged anymore, cannot hold charge, and then that's, I guess, when we die. But there's a long time between now and then, so we've got to learn how to encourage this conflux and this attraction and flow of energy through us. We mostly think that when we sleep and we get up, we are fresh and we don't think about what happened. Well, this is what happens. If you ask someone what we need to stay alive, to survive, to live, they usually say, well, you need to breathe. We need that. They say you need to eat, and you need to drink. You need water, you need food, and you need to breathe. Yeah, that's what most people say you need to survive. But they forget one thing. You also need to sleep. Fourth thing, you also need to sleep. Why? Because when you sleep, it seems like you're entering a certain frequency that you can accept and absorb the energy that we were talking about. That's why when you get up in the morning, all through night, you've been charging yourself up. Your frequency with the universe is in the way that you're charging. And when you get up in the morning, you feel refreshed and charged up, ready to go. So there must be something that is happening while you're sleeping. Yeah? So through meditation and understanding how to encourage and fill up your tank of this energy, there are ways, and there are many ways in the world that teachers teach, and through meditation, even when you're not sleeping, just not waiting for the nighttime to sleep and to recharge, you can recharge through your daytime. You know, you meditate a few minutes, or you understand how to encourage the flow of the universe while you're during your day, going about your business. And then the next step is that you actually are able to, while you're extending and expanding and using the energy, you also replenish it at the same time. That would be a wonderful experience and expertise. It will become like the difference between when you parked your car and you turn the lights on. Well, then the lights are taking the energy from the battery and eventually depletes the battery, and then there's no more light, or it gets very weak. But when you, just like when you get up and then you use it at the end of the day, you kind of feel slow and down. It's like you're using the energy that you need to charge up. So you sleep, it charges up. So one way is to charge the battery up again so then you can use it again. And the other way is to have the engine on and then turn the light on, because then the light will stay on, the battery will not deplenish, because the alternator is constantly regenerating the energy that is the battery is losing. The battery is giving out to the lights, to the light bulbs to light up. So it's constantly recharging it as it's giving it to this. So it's not really depleting, it's replenishing as well. Same thing with us. We can learn how to replenish while we use it, yeah? And so we don't have to just wait and recharge at night and then use it and then recharge. And there would be a better idea, while we have this option that every night we sleep and we recharge, we also can replenish while we're using. So a runner can be running as fast and still focusing on more of the energy coming to him, so he can run longer or run faster, because he's not just depleting, he's learned how to replenish while he's using, depleting. And it can happen for a tennis player, it can happen for any other sports oriented person, or it can happen for you when you're studying. So your focus will continuously stay, because focus is also the same as focus is a big power. You must understand, focus is one of the most important things in life, a tool that is the difference between accomplishing and not accomplishing, success or not success. And you say, why focus is important? Well, the example I can give you is very simple. Imagine a week sunshine, light of a sunshine, week sunshine of the afternoon of a winter day. Yeah? So if you take this week afternoon sunshine, sun ray of a winter day through a magnifying lens, that very weak light through the magnifying lens can actually focus and turn a paper on the other side of the magnifying lens to catch fire. Yeah? But then a hot summery sun ray of the hot summer day, if you place a different kind of lens in front of it, and from the other side the ray is dissipated, and as strong as it came through this projector lens, through this lens, it dissipated at the other side. So its power went away, because its focus, it didn't focus it, that lens. That lens was not, it's a projector lens. It wasn't for focusing. So it took whatever power it even had to begin with and dissipated it. Just so you can see the importance of focusing. Focus is power. To be able to focus is power. Power comes from focus. In everything, focus is power. So, same thing. Now realize there are two things here to notice. One is the importance of focus, but focus itself is not necessarily as powerful, and it can never be as powerful as the ability to stay focused. See, this is what we want to learn. To practice, to learn how to focus is one thing, and then to practice and exercise and learn how to stay focused. The longer we can sustain the state of being focused, that's where the power is, and that's where all the good stuff that we want to accomplish can get accomplished. So anybody can focus for a moment or two. Anybody, is part of our nature, we can focus. But then staying focused and not dissipating, not going away from the focus state, that's where things happen. So now we got to learn how to do all these things, how to increase the conflux and interchange between our energy and energy, the universe and energy, nature, and how to stay focused, learn how to stay focused as long as we want. These are the things that we need to learn by learning how to develop the strength of our mind. Just like we go to the gym and strengthen our muscles, and we exercise, and eventually we build muscles and so on, the mind has its own way of exercise to become stronger and build its abilities and powers. And we can't just say that we have a mind, therefore there's nothing else needed to be done to it. It's already there. No, this also has to be strengthened. Just like anybody who has a kind of a body, he goes and exercises, swimming, tennis, running, soccer, weightlifting, exercise, fitness programs, all gives you muscle and makes you fitter, stronger, and develops your muscle, your body. Mind also has its own way of need for a certain exercise to develop itself and become stronger, more powerful, and to become to be able to help you when you need it. You call on it. You see, mind is very powerful. Mind is very amazing. Mind can be here 1 second and next second in the Mars or moon and back in about a fraction of a second and then ready to go somewhere else. So mind is very active and powerful, and you need to control and focus that power. Otherwise, it's like the summer light through projection lens, and it dissipates, and you lose its power to use it to gain and achieve your goals in life, whether it's learning and studying, or sporting activities, success, or controlling your emotions, or focusing on how to lose the weight you wanted to lose, or stop the smoking, or the drinking, or whatever else is negative in your life that you want to change. All of that needs the power of mind, because it is the mind that orchestrates the movements of the body. You see, you ask someone, how do you, people say, okay, when they eat, they say tongue tastes and legs walk. But in fact, mind tastes through manipulation of tongue, and mind walks through manipulation of legs. So it is logical to think that the master programmer, the computer that makes everything move, needs to also be well oiled and maintained and in tip-top shape. So you need to give it exercise to keep it in tip-top shape. Some of us wonder why we have nervous breakdown, or why we are the stress and all that. Well, we go to the gym and we lift some weights. Why? Because we want to strengthen our bodies so it can take, next time that it can take a weight, or we want to do some work in our office or in the store or wherever we work, or around the home, so it won't be so cumbersome or difficult for our body or give us an injury. So we are strengthened, we exercise and we're ready. We can, next time we lift something a reasonable weight, it won't feel much, so it's easier for us. Yeah, that's why we go and turn our body into good shape. The mind is the same. It needs to be strengthened, so when these pressures that constantly come to us through life will not affect it as much as if it wasn't trained. You see, most of challenges in life is mental. It's not physical. Physical, this is 20th century, 21st century. You have a problem, you call the police. Yeah? It's not really the era that we need to be overly strong to defend ourselves, or to, I don't know, to plow the field or something. So the challenges have changed through the years, and the challenges are now mostly mental. In the old times, most challenges seemed to be physical, attacks and wars and this and that, and plowing the field and carrying this. But now most things are being done by machines and by organizations and so on and so forth, hydraulics and so on. But the challenges have turned and mostly are dealing with spouse and children and schooling and work and making money and bills and all these other things. Most challenges are mental. So doesn't it make sense that the mind, just as well as the body, that we go training to make it strong, the mind should also be strong to withstand all these nonsense that we go through, the challenges that are invisible, but they have their tolls. They can take the tolls on our existence, on our life, and our tranquility, and so on. It does make sense. We need to strengthen the mind. So to realize the importance of strengthening your mind, developing your mind, it means a better quality of life, better tolerance, better everything. So how do we learn how to focus? Well, these are some things that is very involved, but I can tell you one thing. You are not just what you'll see in the mirror. That what you see is just a physical being of yours. You are not just a physical being. You're made out of a physical and mind. And the bigger power is within you, that you got to understand it and reach out and use it. It's like the visible segment of an iceberg. The body is the visible segment of an iceberg. Some have bigger body, smaller body, but whatever the size is, that is the visible segment of an iceberg. Like in the ocean, you see a small or bigger iceberg showing itself above the sea level. You can see it, yeah? But you know that that's not all there is to the iceberg. Thousands of times bigger than what's visible, it's underneath the ocean, yeah? Same thing with the iceberg. We too have thousands of times bigger than what we see from our body and presence, physical presence, is within us. And we can unleash that, we can learn that, we can master how we can combine the physical part that is visible and the mental part that is invisible, like the top part of the iceberg, tip of the iceberg, and the bottom part, so the invisible, amazing, humongous part of the iceberg, and combine the two and approach life in that way, in combination of our total powers. Now, we can talk about this some other time, a little bit more, because again, it's reached the 30 minutes or so, and I don't want you to get too tired. In the meantime, remember, you have more capabilities than you think you have. You just gotta know how to reach it. We'll talk about that later. Have a nice day.